It is well said that an attitude towards organization and formulation of attitudes among the workers, managers of the organization will lead the organization to success. It is well said that I have an attitude because I earned it. We will discuss what is attitude. Attitude is considered to be as more or less stable set of predispositions of opinion, interest of purpose involving expectancy of certain kind of experience and readiness with an appropriate response. Attitudes are also known as frames of reference. They provide background against which facts and events are viewed. An attitude describes persons enduring favorable and unfavorable cognitive evaluations, feelings, and action tendencies towards some object or idea. People have attitudes regarding almost everything, such as religion, politics, music, food, and society, in which the organization is a part. A person's attitude settle into coherent pattern, and to change one may require difficult adjustment in many others. A company, an organization would be well advised to fit its approach into the existing attitudes and then to try changing people's attitude. Attitude can be viewed as a learnt predisposition to respond or to an object or class of objects in a consistently favorable and unfavorable way. Attitude we can define. Attitudes are evaluation statements, either favorable or unfavorable concerning objects, people, or events. They reflect how one feels about something. Attitude is a tendency or predisposition to evaluate an object or symbol of that object in certain way. Attitude is a mental and neutral state of readiness organized through experience, exerting to a direct or dynamic influence upon individuals' response to all objects and situations within which it is related. Attitude, Alpert defines as an enduring organization of motivational, emotional, and perceptual and cognitive processes with respect to some aspect of the individual's world. Attitude, in simple words, is an individual's way of looking or an individual's point of view of something. To be more specific, an attitude may be defined as the mental state of an individual which prepares him to react or make him behave in a particular predetermined way. It is actually an acquired feeling. I emphasize here, it is actually an acquired feeling. Attitude is the mixture of beliefs and feelings that people have about situations, specific ideas of the people. Cognitive components are also there in attitudes. Positive brand associations enhance brand equity and are achieved through a number of positional strategies. The attitudes, the totality of the attitudes in an organizational will decide the formulation of organizational attitude. Formulating an organizational attitude in a positive way is very much important for the development of the organization. Attitudes are predispositions. Attitudes are predispositions of purpose, interest, or opinion of the person to assess some objects in favorable or unfavorable manner. Attitudes are different from values. Attitudes are different from values. Values are the ideals, whereas attitudes are narrow. They are our feelings. Attitudes are evaluative statement. Attitudes are evaluative statements either favorable or unfavorable concerning the objects, people, or events. Attitudes influence human behavior. Here, coming to the formulation of organizational behavior, the totality of individuals' attitudes, that will be the conglomeration, and it plays a major role either for organizational development or organizational change or organizational initially building the behavior of an organization. A positive attitude towards a thing will influence human behavior towards the thing favorably and vice versa. Attitudes have intensity. The intensity of attitudes, it refers to the strength of the affective component. For example, we may dislike an individual, but the extent of our disliking would determine the intensity of our attitude towards the person. Attitudes are learned. Attitude is not an inborn phenomenon. Attitude are learned through social interaction and experience. Once again, here I emphasize, attitude is not an inborn phenomenon. Attitudes are learned through social interaction and experience. Functions of an attitude. There are a number of functions of an attitude where you can adjust certain things, and certain eco-defensive function will be there, value expressive function will be there, knowledge function will be there. And now we will discuss the attributes of these attitudes. There are broadly three types of attitudes in terms of organizational behavior. These three influence the formulation of organizational behavior, which is pivotal to lead the organization into a positive way. A job satisfaction, a collection of positive or negative feelings that an individual holds towards his job or job. A person will hold a positive attitude if had a high level of satisfaction, while dissatisfied people will generally display a negative attitude towards life. Where we talk about attitude, we generally speak about job satisfaction because they are interrelated in organizational behavior. Job involvement. Job involvement refers to the degree to which person identifies himself psychologically with his job, actively participates and considers his perceived performance level important to self-worth. Higher job satisfaction leads to low absenteeism, employee turnover, and indicates that the individual cares for his job. The last one is organizational commitment. Organizational commitment refers to a degree to which an employee identifies himself with the organizational goals and wishes to maintain membership in the organization. Resigning from the job or absenting versus job satisfaction is a predictor of organizational commitment. Organizational commitment depends upon the degree of autonomy and freedom, job and job enrichment factor. Attitudes are nothing more than habits of thought. This is the definition given by Maxwell. Once again, I reiterate, attitudes are nothing more than habits of thought. So the habits of thought formulate into an attitude. Formation of an attitude. The question often arises, how are the attitudes and subsequent behaviors formed? Well, attitudes are basically learned over the years. Some inherited characteristics do affect such attitudes. Some of the learned characteristics responsible for attitude formation are experiences, perceptual biases, conservation of other attitude, association, and personality. Our personal experience with people and situations develop our attitude towards such person and situations. Through job experience, people develop attitudes towards working conditions, salaries, supervision, group dynamics, and so on. Perceptual biases. Perception is the result of a complex interaction of values, senses such as feelings, seeing, hearing, and so on, plays an important part in our attitude and behavioral formation. For example, if a manager perceives a subordinate's ability as limited, he will give him limited responsibility. Similarly, we lose many good friends due to our changed perception about them. Observation of another person's attitude. When we like someone, we try to emulate that person's attitude. For example, when we are impressed with someone keeping calm under successful circumstances and we appreciate such calmness, we might try to do the same. Our association with the group we belong to strongly influences our attitude. Our close association with a group would encourage us to be consistent with the attitude of the group. Personality. Personality is a set of traits and characteristics, habit patterns, and conditioned response to certain stimuli that formulate the impression that a person makes upon others, and this impression is a function of personal attitude. Importance of attitude. An expert knows that a positive attitude is necessary for successful completion of a project or to assign task. Having a positive attitude with positive thinking in the organization will reflect on what employees do and make them more productive employees. Importance of attitude is very much there in an organizational behavior. Employees with a positive attitude will create a healthy atmosphere in the organization and develop positive relations with the subordinates, their supervisors, managers, and top management. A positive attitude has significant benefits for an individual in many aspects. The importance of the attitude will play a major role in career success, productivity, leadership, teamwork, motivation, interpersonal relations, stress management. It is very much essential in the process of stress management to have a positive attitude, a formulative positive attitude, and lot of process in developing the attitudes. Theories may be many in definition, in scope and practice, but basically it is a fact and a necessity that a positive attitude will lead to positive outcomes in the organization and ultimately result in the positive organizational behavior. A positive attitude in the workplace helps employees to accomplish tasks faster and in a better manner. The performance of employees to a great extent depends upon the good relationship they share with their colleagues. A good relationship can be established only when employees demonstrate a positive attitude towards their work, colleagues, and in building the organizational behavior. The positive energy created by the positive attitude. Work becomes a pleasure and employees find it easier to achieve their goals. A positive attitude has significant benefits for an individual in many aspects, but also an organization. So it is evidently an organization, management, and also the individual, whether whatever may be the level of in the hierarchy, whether it is in the top management or down to the lower level, they have to develop positive attitude in order to bring a teamwork in the organization which will enhance the level of decision making in a right manner. Motivation, interpersonal relations, these two will be more influenced by the positive attitude of an individual and an organization. Stress has a detrimental effect on which the employees. So, how can employee cope with it? Stress can be reduced through only positive thinking, and which reduced stress, the employees will enjoy better health and take fewer sick leaves. Our attitude towards life determines life's attitude towards us. Ultimately, whether it is in the life of an individual or in the process of an organization, your altitude, not your aptitude, will determine your altitude individually and the altitude of the organization. The only best instrument to develop a positive attitude among the company and create a culture is learning and development. Thank you.